Hello everyone, welcome back to JDCodebase. This is the part of our web development series. In this video, we are going to learn asynchronous JavaScript basics. Now don't worry if these words sound confusing. If you are a beginner, this video is made exactly for you. I will explain everything slowly with simple example. And we will also write code together in the VS Code. Step by step, by the end of this video, you will clearly understand what synchronous and asynchronous mean, why JavaScript needs asynchronous behavior, what callbacks are, why callbacks hell is a problem, and how promise makes things better. Also, the PPT and all code example are available in the video description. So let's start. Now in this video, you will learn what synchronous JavaScript means, what asynchronous JavaScript means, why asynchronous behavior is needed, and callback functions and how they work, problem with the callbacks, and an introduction to the promise. We will also see simple real world example also in this video. Now before asynchronous, we must understand how JavaScript work internally. JavaScript basically a single threaded language. This means JavaScript can do only one thing at a time, and it execute code using the something called a code stack. Now code run line by line in order. The important point here is the JavaScript cannot stop and wait for the long tasks like API calls or timers. And simple ideas like JavaScript does one task at a time in sequence. Keep this in mind, it is very important. Means JavaScript does one task at a time. Now let's talk about the synchronous JavaScript. Synchronous means code run line by line, and each line wait for the previous line to finish, and this is the blocking in nature. So if one task is slow, everything after it has to wait, right? And let's see in the VS Code, if I write a console.log but start console.log middle, and last one is the console.log end. So when I run this code, when they run this file node one start middle and end, so JavaScript create this file from top to bottom. First it print the start, then it print the middle, then it print the end. So there is no waiting, no skipping, so the output will always be the start, then middle, then end. So this is the synchronous execution. Now here is the problem is that if one task takes a long time, everything else get blocked, the UI can freeze, and user experience become bad. So synchronous code is not suitable for the API calls, timers, file loading, because imagine a website freezing just because data is loading. That would be a bad user experience. So we need something better actually. Now this is where asynchronous JavaScript comes in. Asynchronous means long tasks run in the background. JavaScript does not block the main thread, and results are handled later. So code becomes the non-blocking. JavaScript says, I will continue my work and I will handle this task when it finish. Let me show you in the VS Code. So let's say console. Let me write console.log, one more start, and after that I start a timeout function. Let's say this take a function and a delay of, let's say, 1 second. Okay, and inside this a function, a arrow function, and console.log async task. So and in last I write console.log end, and when I run this, if you see here, it print the start, then it print the end, then it print the asynchronous task. So first JavaScript print the start here, then it's a set timeout function, a set timeout method. This is the asynchronous function basically, this set timeout, and JavaScript says, okay, I will start the timer, but I will not wait here. So it moves to the next line and print the end in the output, and after 1 second the callback inside set timeout runs and asynchronous task is printed. That's why the output order is matter, and start and an asynchronous task. Like if I write here, instead of this is 1 second, if I make one more set timeout, and let me remove, let's copy this. Let's see here, this take 4 seconds, this take 3 seconds, and it take the 2 seconds, and it take the 1 second normally. So according to you, what should be the output? Start, end, 1 3 2 4. What should be output? Let's see, let's run this. Start and 4 2 3 1, because it, okay, I am not changed here the time. 4 2 and here is it 3. So let's run this now. See the magic. Start 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second. So this is the how JavaScript runs the asynchronous code. Now why JavaScript, why asynchronous is important in the JavaScript? So asynchronous JavaScript is very important because it keeps the UI responsive, it improves the user experience, it helps the handle the real world operation, and asynchronous is used in the API request, timer, event, background task. Almost every real website use the asynchronous JavaScript. Now what is callback function? So a callback function is a function passed as an argument and executed after a task completion. Like if in I say in a simple way, a function that runs later, just this, a function that runs later. So callbacks are one of the earliest way to handle asynchronous code. So let's write in the VS Code. Let's say I write a function, a fetch, and it take a callback. This is actually a function. This callback is a function. So set timeout, and the code runs after, let's say, 1 second. Okay, and inside this set timeout, I am calling this callback function. Okay, now let's write the callback function here. Let's say, actually fetch is a keyword, so I have to write here the fetch data. Now let's fetch data, and it take the value a function console.log, a arrow function I am giving, and console.log result, and inside this I am giving a value result, and here just print this result, and here I have to give the value also data received. So let me call this, let me run this function. So result data received, and as expected, after 1 second this function runs, and here fetch function, fetch data takes a function as a parameter, this callback, and that function is the callback. Inside set timeout, after 1 second we call the callback and pass this value data received. When the asynchronous task finishes, the callback runs and logs the result. So callback help us to handle asynchronous result. Now where callbacks are used in the real life? So callbacks are commonly used in the set timeout, set interval, event listener, API calls, file operation. But callbacks have problems. Like callback problems with the callback is that code becomes hard to read, debugging is difficult, too much nesting, poor error handling, and this leads to something called the callback hell. Like here, if you see, this is the one callback. I'm just giving here the one function in the argument as an argument, but what if I give the many callbacks? Like callback hell happen when many asynchronous tasks depend on each other. callbacks are nested inside the callbacks and make the pyramid-like structure. So let's see a practical example of callback help. Like I say login, and this take a function, this take a value user, and also a callback function. And inside this, after that login, I make a profile function. This also take a arrow function as a callback. Then inside the get profile, I am getting the post posted by the user, and inside this also a new callback function, a arrow function. And inside the get post, I also have a post also have the comments. So let's write the comments, and inside this also a new arrow function. So, and inside this I am writing console.log done. So this is the callback hell. Like look at this code, it goes deeper and deeper to the right side. Means this is the hard to read and hard to maintain. Imagine adding the error handling here, it would become a nightmare for a developer. So why callback hell is bad here? Like readability is low, maintenance is hard, error handling is very confusing, code is not scalable. So JavaScript introduced the most important thing, promises. So a promise is a represent a future value, solve callback problem, provide the cleaner asynchronous handling. Like a promise give the has the three state: pending, fulfill, and rejected. Think of a promise like I promise I will give you the result later. That's it. Now instead of writing this this login a callback hell is giving the arrow function inside the function and call make this callback hell, just write const promise. How to make this a promise, a simple promise? Just write const your a variable name. You can give any temporary promise or whatever you and want. Just write new promise. This is the standard way to writing the promise, to declaring a new promise, and inside this it take the two values, means a function, and inside this function I have to give the resolve and reject. Yes, and also the if you see here the VS Code also tell us the it takes the two values resolve and reject here, and use here in this timeout, and inside this start a callback a arrow function console.log resolve success. After let's say 1 second is enough. And then how to call this promise, temp promise dot then, and inside this I'm saying result console.log result. So we create a new promise using the new promise keyword, and inside it we perform an asynchronous task. If the task succeeded, we call the resolve, and if it fails, we call the reject. And here dot then function means dot then here runs when the promise is fulfilled. This is much cleaner than the callbacks. So why promises are better than the callbacks? So syntax is cleaner, much cleaner, and error handling is easier, no deeper nesting. You can chain multiple asynchronous tasks. Now callback versus promise. Callbacks are the nested, hard to manage, and promise are the flat structure, readable, easier to debug. This is why modern JavaScript uses the promises. Now real world use cases where we means promise are used in for the fetching data from the APIs, authentication system, loading files, background tasks. Framework like React heavily rely on the promises. Now in the next video, we will learn promise chaining, asynchronous await, error handling with the try catch, and real project example. So let's quickly summarize. JavaScript is a single-threaded. In interviews, many times they ask JavaScript is a single-threaded or multiple-threaded. So just says JavaScript is a single-threaded, and asynchronous preventive blocking and callbacks handle the asynchronous task, and callback hell is a real problem. So promise improves the asynchronous code. So that is for this video. If you are new to asynchronous JavaScript, watch this video again and practice the code. Don't forget, PPT and all code files are available in the description. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to JDCodebase and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.